It's crazy because, had you not been in that lobby that one time,
right,
with the one kid that said, "Hey, do you play game battles?"
How long would it have taken for me to learn about it?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I love these little moments in time that really alter or reshape what your reality was up until that point.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you start getting? Okay, so the timeline goes: Modern Warfare is when you started.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 is when you learned about game battle. No. Anyway, so you teamed up with Aches in Modern Warfare 2?
Correct.
So if I remember correctly, Modern Warfare 2 was when we first had our team with them. And then the following game was what, Black Ops 1?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's when we met. I met you, I first heard about you in person when you were being casted by Fwiz at the what's that Blues? What's the shit?
House of Blues.
House of Blues.
Mm-hmm. GameStop
House of Blues tournament in LA on one of the fucking streets.
Yeah.
And there was 2 teams. How many teams were there?
I think it was 4 teams, if I remember.
Yeah, 4 teams. And you know what's crazy about that is that I was a host there, and they gave me the microphone, and then I'm like, I grabbed the mic and I'm like, all right, I've seen millions of concerts. I don't know, the first thing that you do is like, what's up, LA? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, I remember.
And I grab the mic and I get to the stage and there's like, let's call it 50 people in the crowd. And I walk up to the front, I'm like, what's up, LA? How's everyone doing? And everybody's like, we're here to watch video games. And I was just like, Jesus. I was like, all right, cool. So we're gonna get started. I want nothing to do with any of you out there in the crowd.
Right.
In my head, obviously, I'm like, all right, cool, let's get started. And I played it cool. But inside, when you are, when you get up there and then you let go of the nerves by saying the first words. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people haven't had a chance. It's like public speaking.
Yeah.
Once you get going, you're good. But it's that first, getting up there and everyone's looking at you.
The jitters.
You're buzzing and it's just like your ears are ringing and it's like, anyway. So the second I said, "What's up, LA? How's it?" I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good. I'm done. Got away. Gave the mic to Fwiz. Fwiz started casting and I was like, oh my God, this guy's incredible.
Yeah.
Because that was the second time Fwiz and I hung out.
Okay.
So it's crazy. All right, so that happens. Did you guys compete at the XP, Call of Duty XP?
Yeah, I was at XP.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What place did you come in?
Not good. Last.
Did you really last? Mm-hmm. Who was your team at the time?
So another funny story. So the team that I wanted to make, all my players were too young to compete, so I had to form my own team. Mm-hmm. So going into that tournament, it was probably my team and you guys that were going in as some of the favorites going into to XP. So it was me, Proofy, Stainville, and Assassin. Oh. I picked all the goats of the time.
Yes.
And I'm like, there's no chance I lose.
None.
I'm gonna win this, whatever, $400,000, no problem.
Yeah.
We go in, we play against our first round was Obey. It was Clayster, Breezy, like Triz. I don't remember what the roster was off the top of my head, but we were playing TDM. It was a mess
with
of
the
a
baby
rule
monitor.
Set with the baby monitor.
Yeah.
People. So we end up getting 3-0'd, and I was I don't think I've ever been more depressed.
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest.
Proofy, you never saw him again.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. He took his. He took his I guess some chocolate bars and went upstairs and stayed in his room for the rest of the tournament, right?
We were sulking. I was rooming with him, and we were just so depressed, man.
Yeah.
At that time, that was the tournament. That we've never really seen anything close to it in Call of Duty, and really in any other esport, I guess. It wasn't the most competitive tournament, but still it brought a lot of eyes to Call of Duty as a competitive game. So getting knocked out first round in that one, especially that was when I was having a lot of success in Black Ops 1. We picked up Scumpy.
Yep.
At that time, we won the first event.
Yep.
We were feeling really good.
How did you guys find Scumpy?
So we were playing in the pre-Dallas ladder to do the seeding for the first open tournament, which is Dallas for Black Ops 1. And it was me, Aches, Fears, and Bobby.
Yep.
And basically we were having...
Bobby Hamwee.
Yes, exactly.
What happened to that dude?
I have no idea what happened to
I know
that
he's a bass fisherman because we interact on Twitter every so often. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Bobby in
my brain's all over the place right now.
Because
it's
these
memories.
Names.
Yeah,
exactly. You remember them. So basically, there's an up-and-coming couple of players that we had our eye on because we were doing really well. We were quote-unquote the best team at the time, and we had a chance to pick up this new up-and-comer, which was Scumpy. But
how did you find them?
So we play against them in the ladder.
Yeah.
So we obviously, we get a lot of matches in. We'd have like 50, 60, 70, 80 matches in on this ladder.
Yeah.
So you play against these guys on a regular occasion. We were the #1 seed at the time, and we decided to make a change. So we ended up dropping, Bobby and Scump were friends. So we ended up making the change to drop Fears for Scump.
Yeah.
So we go into the first tournament. It was me, Aches, Scump, and Bob. And that's when we won it.
Yeah.
We just sort of cruised through the tournament,
leverage,
to be honest.
right?
Yep, that was Quantic leverage.
That's crazy. But, you know, obviously for people that are watching this and I hope that you take close, you know, pay close attention to what he's saying, because he was in high school, he was playing part-time. You know, people often ask us, like, how do I get discovered? How do I get, you know, how do I break through? Mm-hmm. And it's a good question, because right now there isn't a set sort of pathway for up-and-comers to become something. And you know, all over the place, you've seen leagues pop out. You have this high school league that's doing something. You have this other high school league that's doing something. You have this college leagues that are having. But and I always say, I'm like, those are a little bit of a flawed concept. Like, I understand the need for something like that, but it cannot be that.
Right.
It can't be the way that they're shaping it out to be, where there's going to be this collegiate, you know, intramural sort of thing, where after school, you know, the traditional. You know, basketball, football, you know, we're going to go across town to play this high school, that high school. It can't be that, because one, it's online.
Yep.
Two, if you're young and you're good, you can still become pro, like, right there and then. Unlike physical sports, you don't need to. All you need is your hand-eye coordination and good thumbs, or, you know what I'm saying. So what is like your #1, like, to this day as a coach? Let's say. What's the best advice that you can give somebody that wants to become that? Because you've done it all. You went from an average player to a semi-pro to a pro to a world fucking champion to coach, and now the personality that you are today.
It's tough to give advice, because we do have the AM circuit now in the CWO, which I think is a really good opportunity. But it's all about getting to that point where you actually have a dedicated team and you have some sort of way to get better. So I guess the biggest things is, whenever you have an opportunity to match up against some of these top players, whether it be, you know, we had the 2Ks of times past where you had a chance to compete against top players, find a dedicated squad, start on your game battles ladders, and get reps in on the actual game types that the pros play on.
Yeah.
And then work your way up those ladders, start, you know, those pay to enter tournaments. That's how you play against better competition. It's all about putting yourself in a situation where you're practicing against people that are better than you. Because if you keep playing this people on the same playing field as you,
you're never going to improve.
How are you going to improve? You need to get smacked in the face a little bit, so you can stand back up and realize how they're beating you and why they're better than you. And if it's just talent, if it's just knowledge, if it's experience, figure out what your next steps need to be as to how to improve your gameplay and your entire team's gameplay. Because it's 5v5 now. It's not just you. You could be the best player in the world. If no one likes you, you're not going to get on a team and you're going to get dropped.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. They always have to say, hey, how do you scout players? Hey, even as close as recent as yesterday, somebody's like, how do players scout, or how do you scout players? And I'm like, the players scout the players, because anybody can be good. It's all about chemistry, because unlike traditional sports, you know, where you are always together and there's a disagreement, you have a physical sort of presence where you can either agree to disagree, or you can push and push and push to see what happens in an altercation sort of scenario. Where in video games, you're across the country and you can hang up on the argument, or you can keep on going and not have sort of that physical presence. Then you're sort of handicapping your relationship, and you're sort of handicapping the chemistry within a team by not having a presence there. So chemistry is all about whether or not you're a good enough human to be able to understand somebody else's point of view and choose to say agree to disagree, or, like I said, you know what, you're a moron, I can't deal with this ever again, I'm out.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I agree. And then the whole scouting player thing, well, like, I think of the players that we picked up. What me and Aches, obviously you have to give Aches a lot of credit. He had an eye for these certain people that had something extra. We picked up Scump. Look at Scump.
Yeah.
We picked up Krim. Look at Krim. Obviously, Krim had more of a history at the time because he came from Halo. He played COD back in the day. But still, like, look at where these people are now. You know when these players are up and coming because they make waves with their gameplay.
Yeah.
These pro players match up against these guys a couple times, and there's respect earned on the game when you play against them.
Yep.
Another good example is for, like, TJ and Dashy. players on our team right now.
Yeah.
You knew they were going to be godlike. And how can you explain it? You see them play, you see them match up against some of the best people in the world, and they're doing great. It's as simple as that. If you are good enough and you have enough social skills to work your way up the community and up the ladder, like Dashy and TJ, for example, they were stuck playing S&D tournaments for a while, but they would sure as hell won a lot of them.
Yeah.
And people noticed that.